gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
The following program contains mature content. Any opinions expressed are those solely of the host and any guests. Listener discretion strongly advised.
It doesn't get much better than this, does it? Hey, everybody. Welcome. Welcome, one and all. Greetings and salutations. Welcome to another episode of Wyce Thoughts. Wyce Thoughts is a no-holds-barred take on the world and the world around you and me. Tune into Wyce Thoughts every episode. You never know what you're going to hear and what gems you are going to find. And hey, if you enjoy the program, check out our website, wycethoughts.com, W-Y-C-E, wycethoughts.com. There you can listen to each and every episode of this podcast. Can't ask for more, can you? On this episode of Wyce Thoughts, the state of the world in the northeastern United States, it can't even go outside and breathe the air. And we're going to talk about the mindset of the human race on this episode of Wyce Thoughts. So grab your favorite chair, pull up your favorite beverage, and get ready as we get set to talk around the virtual campfire on this episode of Wyce Thoughts. It's all coming up right after this. Don't you go anywhere.
Wearing his sunglasses indoors just because he wants to. Let's get back to the program. Here's your host, Terry Wyce.
Hello, everyone. Greetings. Welcome to Wyce Thoughts. And hey, if you want to check out our Facebook page. It's facebook.com/Wyce Thoughts. I also got a YouTube channel. Just go to Wyce Thoughts and search for that on YouTube. W-Y-C-E, Wyce Thoughts. I'll speak today on YouTube. And if you want to tweet at me on Twitter, it's at Terry Wyce on Twitter. So you can tweet at me on Twitter at Terry Wyce. Also got a Rumble channel. It's rumble.com/user/Terry Wyce. And the links are all in the podcasts as well for you, my friends. So have no fear. You can find those at any time by going to the website Wyce Thoughts and also our main website, purplepitstudios.com, purplepitstudios.com. All right? So welcome, one and all. Mr. Producer Extraordinaire, how are you feeling today? Are you feeling amorous and wonderful? Huh? All right, yay! All right, Mr. Producer Extraordinaire, he's feeling great, and we are glad for that. We hope you are well, and all is well with you in your world here as you join us for this episode of Wyce Thoughts. And I want to talk to you about some things going on, first of all, in the news the past few days here in the northeastern United States, from hence where the program cometh, specifically New York State. There's about 6 million acres, they say. 6 million? Is that 6 million acres? Burning in, let's find out. Let's pull it up. Oh, Canadian wildfire. Canadian wildfire. But there's lots of forestry burning up in to our neighbors to the north, and certainly it's a terrible thing. Let's see. How many acres here? I know I should have had this on a piece of paper, Mr. Producer. That's your fault. Doggone it. Why? Okay. Yeah. Basically, nasty air quality as the smoke from the, millions breathing hazardous air, smoke from Canadian wildfires streams south over the U.S., and I have curtailed it from being outside, but man, New York, parts of Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and it even extended as far as North Carolina, Indiana. You can almost taste the air, they were saying. Anything over 300, I guess, in the level, units is considered hazardous. And New York City yesterday alone had over 400 units, and it's just terrible, air quality. And it's awful. And here's the weird thing. Now, call me a conspiracy theorist, but you can kind of look at this online. Rumor has it, and I have not found anything to quell this, but rumor has it that most of these fires started on or about the same time, which kind of gives me a moment of pause, and it should you as well. It's this unhealthy haze that's coming into the United States from all these wildfires is something that, definitely take heed if you're in the Northeast, and if you're in Canada, don't go outside unless you absolutely have to. And if it's really, really bad, wear a mask. I'm looking at pictures of New York City from the other day, the Brooklyn Bridge. It looks like a fog was in there, but it wasn't fog. It canceled Major League Baseball games, any outdoor activities, It's hazardous levels of pollution extended into New York State metropolitan area, central New York State, and parts, like I said, of Pennsylvania and New Jersey. Massive tongues of unhealthy air extended as far as North Carolina, Indiana, affecting millions of people in the United States of America. And it is just tragic what's going on with that. Let me see if we've got anything else in here about this that we could play for you. Let's see if we got anything here. Let's see. Mr. Producer, in order to play that, I have to actually have it in the soundboard, so it actually has to come through here, as far as that goes. You want to try again? Okay, let's try again. We're going to see if we can try that again and see if that'll work. Okay, go ahead. Hit that cut. Is it working?
Them out of control.
The smoke has more than 55 million Americans under air quality alerts, prompting safety warnings to stay indoors and the cancellation of some major events, including professional baseball and basketball games. Stephanie Sy has our report.
An ominous orange haze envelops the Statue of Liberty. Wildfire smoke from Canada has billowed across the border, degrading air quality across the Northeast and upper Midwest. Pilots and passengers flew through thick clouds of black smoke before the FAA temporarily grounded flights out of New York.
It's very unexpected, it really happened out of the blue. And I just really hope that everyone stays safe, wear a mask outside so the smoke doesn't go into their lungs.
Today, the Big Apple ranked worst in the world for its air quality. New York City Mayor Eric Adams issued health advisories for all 5 boroughs.
But this is an unprecedented event in our city, and New Yorkers must take precaution.
As wildfire smoke continues to blanket the U.S., 100 million Americans are under air quality alerts. The potential health threat posed by wildfire smoke spanning as far south as Georgia and Texas.
The high levels of air pollution are going to be detrimental to people who are at risk, but really everyone is impacted by this.
Peter DiCarlo is an associate professor of environmental health and engineering at Johns Hopkins University.
Exposure to air pollutants isn't something you can undo. These are particles that are about 100 times smaller than the width of our hair. When we breathe those in and they get into our lungs, they can basically travel to all parts of our body. And so we usually think of the respiratory system as the most impacted, but this also impacts our heart. It can impact our brain.
In Canada, more than 20,000 Canadians can't go home, still under evacuation orders, as firefighters struggle to contain hundreds of wildfires.
Fortunate enough to have, a trailer right now that we could get out for the time being.
In British Columbia, this crew is fighting fire with fire, burning out fuel ahead of an approaching blaze. Canada's Minister of Public Safety says there are 414 active fires across the country. 239 are out of control.
I want to assure Canadians that all orders of government are working closely together, including with our Indigenous partners, to ensure a coordinated and effective response. It's all hands on deck, and it's around the clock.
Coast-to-coast forest fires have scorched more than 9.1 million acres in Canada already this year, an area bigger than the state of Maryland. And it's just the start of what is on track to be the most devastating fire season in Canada's history.
The fact that we're seeing so many fires, burning such large areas, and burning this early in the season is definitely worrisome.
Climate scientist Christina Dahl says several...
All right, now here you go. Climate, the climate conspiracy people and the climate crazies, we're going to get in this. All right, I'm going to pause it right here for a second. Ladies and gentlemen, forest fires and things like that have been going on for eons. For hundreds of years, things happen like that. However, on this particular case, what makes it really strange to me, what makes it have an aha moment is a lot of these started at the same time. It wasn't like, oh, there's a little lightning here and this fire started. I mean, it's almost like somebody, if you took matches and sprinkled them across dry kindling all over the place. Now, could I be wrong and say maybe the weather system had something to do with that and that? Possibly, sure. But man, I'll tell you, there is definitely something suspicious about this. I tie this in with all the train derailments in the United States. We had a record number of train derailments here over the past 6 to 8 months, like you've never seen before. And it all goes back, and I know some of you are out there going to say, Terry, you're just a crackpot conspiracy theorist. You're nuts, man. Whatever you're smoking, give me some. No pun intended for the forest fires. But folks, when things, look odd and something's not right, I think it really behooves us as rational thinking human beings to start questioning things. Don't take everything at face value. And we saw with the recent COVID pandemic that we were being shunned and told to shut the fuck up. Take what we say on the news at face value. The government tells you, you take it. Don't think independently for yourself. And it's kind of like the same thing here. I feel for everyone affected by this. I mean, by all means, use common sense and stay safe. Absolutely. But part of me has to think, we got to start thinking with common sense again and a little bit of logic and not just take anything anybody shoves in front of us and say, yeah, okay, that's it. Whatever happened to independent thought as human beings, as a species? All right, let's continue more on with this, and I got more to say on this as we go along.
Factors are at play.
And we know that climate change isn't the only factor that's at play in driving worsening wildfires around the world. We know that things like suppressing fires for many decades or even a century can cause a lot of undergrowth in our forests to build up.
Well, that was
naturally cleared by.
That was the climate people. Oh, don't do that. Don't be burning. Okay, that was one of their tricks. Well, you got to stop burning all this stuff because you're going to create air pollution. Well, sometimes you have to do a burnout. Okay, you have to. And believe me, I'm no firefighter, but I've watched enough and I've learned enough, and I know a lot of firefighters and people that actually worked in the forestry service. A couple of them I had the privilege to talk to, and sometimes you have to do a burn off or a burnout to prevent the big fires like we're getting now. But these, again, are failed policies by nations, not only in the United States, but now we're seeing it in Canada, a failed policy that very well may have led to this type of serious situation that we're experiencing now.
Naturally occurring fires and low severity fires. But now that we have been suppressing those fires, we have a lot of overgrowth, and that's causing fires to burn larger and more severely.
As firefighters try to contain the fires across Canada, officials in many U.S. cities warn air quality is at code red. It's not the highest alert level, but it does mean the air may be unhealthy for some, and outdoor activity is discouraged. The PBS NewsHour. All
right, there you go. That's from PBS. We took that. Thank you, and we will surely give them credit, PBS NewsHour. Thank you for that, allowing us to air that audio footage source file for you today. So there you go. I mean, and again, part of me harkens back to failed policies by panicking people, that want a virtue signal, okay, and say, look at me, oh, look, I'm going to save the environment, save the planet. But sometimes what you're doing is more harmful in the long run. And while we're talking about that, there was some, I came across an article and some video footage the other day of that these electric trucks that they want, they want to go to electric. Everybody go to electric, go to electric, go to electric. Well, guess what? Going into these electric vehicles, especially these trucks, requires almost, I think what it was quoted is somewhere around the neighborhood of 6,000 to 8,000 pounds of batteries for these huge electric, if they want to go these trucks, these large industrial trucks to electric. Folks, batteries are more hazardous than gasoline just because of the innate chemicals that you have to make up a battery. It is far more hazardous to the environment, to human beings, how they're made at this particular point with the technology that we have. But yet, all these people out there where these billions and billions of dollars are exchanging hands, pushing this climate agenda. And if you do not think that people are getting rich off this climate craziness and scaring people, then you are poorly mistaken, because people are becoming millionaires off of stuff like this, my friends, and hundreds of millions of dollars are being wasted, out and out wasted, or fraud and other things. We have more than enough natural resources in oil, coal, shale, all kinds of stuff, hydropower, okay, things like that, and even wind that can do it, solar, everything. That this push to electric, gotta have electric cars, electric. They found out they don't last as long as normal cars on the road right now. There's many, many problems with them, functionality, depending on the climate and where you're located. And there's a high failure rate on a lot of them. And, folks, when you want to rush right out and get that electric vehicle, God forbid you have to repair anything on it. You think automotive repair bills are high now? Oh, wait till you have to replace the batteries in your electric car down the road. You're talking thousands of dollars. Thousands of dollars. It's almost like TVs nowadays. We got these 80-inch televisions. They're circuit boards. They break. You might as well just toss them in the trash can and go buy another one. That's what they're probably getting you to with vehicles. Basically, nothing is repairable anymore. It's to spend thousands more to replace it. And it's just the mentality of the human race. A chunk of our human population, and especially some of you knuckleheads here in the United States of America, where you're just willing to cow down and bow down and bend over and take it, because someone tells you to. It's absolutely ridiculous. And I just can't believe that my fellow Americans, especially, we're a freedom-loving people, but a lot of you forgot what freedom actually means. It's the ability to make a choice, to have independent, logical thought, and then make the best decision for you, not just follow the mob or the crowd. And, these wildfires from Canada, I think, my friends, if I may be so bold, are a perfect example of failed climate policies coming back to bite us in the ass on a global scale now. Now, some of those fires are probably natural, but again, like they were talking about in that audio snippet that we listened to, those burnout fires that they usually do, they do a controlled burn where they have control over it to prevent stuff like this happening. And then you get your climate crazies coming in going, no, it's Mother Nature. No, can't do that. And look what happens, my friends. I don't know. Anyway, we're gonna close out on this edition of Wyce Thoughts. I just wanted to get in an episode and talk about this, the wildfire, and how the climatologists here and the climate crazy cult are shaping and causing probably more harm to the planet than good. I'm not saying don't recycle your cans and don't be a shit and throw trash in there and dump chemicals and water and stuff. I'm not saying be like that. Be a responsible steward of the planet without being a psychopath. Hey, thanks for listening to the program today. I truly appreciate each and every one of you out there. And remember, to see a change in the world, you have to be the change in the world you want to see. It all starts with you, the person looking back at you in the mirror every morning. Remember to be kind to yourself, be kind to others. If you want to tweet at me on Twitter, it's at Terry Wyce. Stop by the website, wycethoughts.com, just to make sure you spell my name right, W-Y-C-E, wycethoughts.com. And hey, leave us a positive rating and review on your favorite podcast provider, won't you? Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your pets about Wyce Thoughts. And I look forward to gathering yet again around the virtual campfire with you real soon. Take care.